So the story I'm going to tell everyone is one that involves me about 4 to 5 years ago. And in that moment in my life, I was terrified of something that many of you will be familiar with: commitment. Now, when I said I was afraid of commitment, like I knew in my soul that was my number one fear. My number one fear. And I think that there is a reason that people are afraid of commitment. Commitment means a lifelong endeavor. It means something that is permanent. It means something that is unwavering, unshaking, and is there always. And when we're talking about the finality of human existence, forever or always or committing can scare a lot of people. And what I was doing was I was living a life of settling. Because when you are afraid of commitment, you never do anything worthy of commitment. Let that sink in for just a moment, right? When you are afraid of it, you never do anything that is so incredible that you are happy to commit to that task, to that idea, to that relationship, to that belief, to that company, to that business. But the amazing and ironic part is when you have a fear of commitment, like I did, there are certain things that you will commit to, things that are normal, things that are average, things that are what the vast majority of people will live with. So you'll have your daily routine that you will do over and over, that you will repeat Monday through Friday, the same things, the same tasks, the same drive, the same food, the same people, the same beer, the same experience over and over and over again. The same shirt on Saturdays. You lose a certain flair and flavor and excitement of life because you're afraid of commitment. And that fear, to me, represented settling into a relationship that I was not extremely, perfectly, and adequately happy in. I describe this relationship as very good. And I would say that to people. When people ask me, hey, how's things going? I would say they're going really good. Things are good. This is it's a good relationship. She's a really nice person. She's so caring and she's so supportive. There were so many qualities about this person that I admired deeply, but there was something missing. And I was terrified to ask of that thing that was missing because I also did not have it. And that's why I was terrified of asking for it. Because how can you expect someone else in a relationship to do something that you haven't done? It was terrifying for me to really, really ask of something magnificent. And I'm looking through really quick the list of individuals who are here just to see if I invited my counselor who was helping me at the time. Her name is Libby. Beautiful woman, so sincere and so sweet. And I had a conversation with her. It went something like this. She said, Jeremy, how do you feel about your relationship today? Because the relationship was something that we discuss frequently. What I would generally do is I would find myself at night or on the weekends figuring out a way to have just a little bit of alcohol so that subconsciously I could numb the pain of the relationship that I was in. So subconsciously I could just dampen my light just a little bit so that I didn't have to shine so bright that people could see me. When I realized that I was doing that, and I told Libby, I said, Libby, I feel like there's something more out there for me, but if I break off this relationship, I'm going to be an asshole. She is not going to like me anymore. I'm going to be a mean person. And then she asked me this question. She says, 40 years from now, are you with her? And I didn't say anything. That's fear. That hesitation, that pause is gripping. It's terrifying. In silence, if you're writing this down, feel free to take notes. In silence, we often hear the most. That was a message to me where I was like, oh my gosh, I know I'm settling, but I'm terrified of really asking for what I want, because if I get what I want, if I really, really strive for it, that would make me stand out. That would make me selfish. That would make me one of a kind. That would make me unique. That would make me a weirdo. I had all these fun limiting beliefs that were going through my mind about what it meant for me to have something remarkable and spectacular and terrific. So I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but next, Libya said, I want you to write down your perfect woman, like come up with a vision and then find out someone who might fit that category, someone in the world that actually exists, another human being. So I wrote down a 6-page letter, 6 pages of notes of the exact woman that I wanted to be with in my life, right? Wrote down specific, incredible, very specific details, and then went and found someone that I thought would be that person. And some of those characteristics sounded like she is admired by her friends. She is a leader in her industry. Everyone loves and appreciates and respects her. I listen to her. I care about her. I cannot have enough of her presence and her essence. I need her in my life. And when she is gone, I feel like my entire heart is missing from my body. And so I went and just looked for random people that this might fit. And I stumbled across a very famous actress, Jessica Biel. Type a quick one into the chat pane if you know who Jessica Biel is. Now, this was just my vision of, oh my gosh, okay, stunning actress. She's beautiful, right? She's tall. I think she's attractive physically. She has a lot going for her. I think a lot of people could agree on that. But I said to myself, how could I attract someone like Jessica Biel? Because at the time, I think she was married to Justin Timberlake. It's irrelevant. I wasn't going after Jessica Biel. It was just a lady that represented someone of power and of femininity, someone that was really, really strong and just, right, she owned it. And I said, how could little me be with that queen? And I had to do something that most men and most women are terrified of doing. I had to change dramatically internally. It had nothing to do with external. It was a lot of inside work, the inside work that people are terrified of doing because it's weird and there's no actual tangible results. It's not like I'm going and buying a car and I get in the car and I can drive it home. Like when you do work internally, you can't feel it or see it immediately. Like there's these things, but there's these little releases that begin to happen. And within a few weeks of doing all this internal work, the internal work that most people are terrified of, which included therapy sessions like EMDR. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but I went to an EMDR therapist. I sat down on the couch, right? I did the crying thing. I talked about my past. I talked about my parents. I talked about my dad and how my relationship with him wasn't perfect. And I talked about all the death and the tragedy and the pain that was in my life. Things I had never done before. I hadn't really talked to anyone because I'm a man. Men don't talk about their feelings. That's pathetic. We're strong. We carry the world on our back. We don't need to express how we're feeling. That's the internal work that I had to do. I had to realize what empathy was and how to empathize with other people. And better yet, how to understand what I was feeling and then communicate it with words other than I'm fine, and I'm good, and I'm okay. So I know there's not tons of men on this call, but if you are listening, you do know that's probably true. Is that a lot of our men, a lot of the men in this world, we hold this weight that we're unable to share because we don't know how. And that was the type of work that I did. And within a few weeks and a few months after doing all this internal work, I started checking off this list as I reconnected with my wife. And I still had work to do. She still had work to do, but we did it together. And when I realized, when I sat down and actually went, wait a minute, the very first sentence of that perfect woman said, she needs to have a crazy, weird, cool name. That was the very first sentence. She needs to have something weird, unique, and like exceptional. I was like, oh man, oh wow, this is it. And I want to share something for the next 20 seconds with everyone here. There was a point in my life where I felt truly like I would never be satisfied. I would never be satiated. If I got into a relationship, I would end up cheating or craving other women's time, physical attention, or intimacy, because there's no way I could ever actually have everything that I wanted. Because if I did that, I would be greedy and I'd be a horrible human being, because that's just a standard that no one else, it's not even reasonable. You can't have everything you want. And now I do. And I am satisfied. And I don't crave other women's attention or other physical interactions with women. Like it was this awakening of me that, wait a minute, I just have to love me a lot and figure out how to translate that love to being into another vessel or the person that I share love with. And that was massively transformative for me and continues to be, because Svet is the most powerful person that I've ever met. And it's my current life mission to make sure that everyone interacts with her in some way, because she's remarkable. So that's another reason that we're doing this, is because I want everyone here, a lot of my friends, a lot of Kelly's friends, a lot of her friends, to just know more about how wonderful Svet is, because she has a gift that I don't, nor have I encountered anywhere else in the world. She can actually heal you, right? She had a healing. That was one of the ways that we connected. She actually got rid of my pain and the barriers and the things that were holding me back. Imagine running a marathon or 10 miles or whatever with a pebble in your shoe. She removed all of my pebbles and gave me new socks.
Well, I've those by now.
And what's amazing is that's actually she's also physically giving me new socks as well. Like, emotionally and physically, new socks. So now I can run faster. And I want everyone on this call to have that same feeling, because I know it's available. I did not believe in soulmates. I did not believe in marriage. I did not believe in commitment. I was the guy that was like, oh, marriage is this thing that was created in the 1430s for ownership, right? I own her, and then she gets a thing, and then like there's dowries, and it's a religious thing, and like marriage is stupid. There's no reason to get married. I was that guy. That was me. I was like, people, there's no need to get married. It's just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. There's no reason to do it. This is dumb. Why? Why get married? That was me.
What changed for you? Why did you decide I want to get married now?
Because I found perfection. When all the obstacles were removed, and like, this is exactly what you asked for. Exactly. Most people do not take the time to get extremely, extremely clear. Have you ever heard the term, be careful what you wish for? Yeah, because it's going to come true if you wish for hard enough, and if you're aligned enough. I'm very happy that it did. I love you so much.